CBS News senior national security contributor Michael Morell is a former deputy director of the CIA. Michael, good morning.
Good morning.
One point on David's reporting. Is it possible that this was also to send a message to North Korea?
I don't think the U.S. intended it that way. I think it was used because there was a military purpose. I do think it might be seen by Kim Jong-un as a message.
What are the capabilities of North Korea as we speak?
They have nuclear weapons. They've tested nuclear weapons 5 times, a number of times successfully. They have short-range and medium-range ballistic missiles that are capable of reaching their targets. They have deployed an ICBM that's capable of reaching the continental United States.
ICBM being an internuclear.
Yes, capable of reaching the continental United States that they've never tested. And we think they've had enough time to mate a nuclear weapon to a missile. So the threat is now. Right? It's not 2 years from now or 5 years from now.
They can reach us now.
Now. We have to assume that, yes.
And so the threat to us of them having nuclear weapons is what, beyond reaching us now?
So it's use, right? It's use against South Korea, Japan, against us. It's sale to another country. And it's loose nukes in a situation where the regime collapses. And who controls those nuclear weapons? There's 3 different threats.
Where's our help here? Is China of assistance? The president has been talking to Xi Jinping. And yet, at the same time, it appears that that relationship is more complicated than the president previously understood.
So if you're going to squeeze North Korea economically, China has to do it because China is 80% of their trade. But there's 2 issues here. One is China's willingness to squeeze them. China fears an unstable nuclear-armed North Korea more than they fear a nuclear-armed North Korea. They don't want to bring about instability. The Chinese keep on making that point. And then the second issue is, even if they did squeeze them, their ability, even if they did squeeze them, would North Korean behavior change? I doubt it.
The North Koreans tend to do something provocative around this birthday celebration of their founder this weekend. What are we expecting here?
So I would expect, based on everything we're hearing, a nuclear test. It is possible there could be a missile test to go along with the nuclear test.
Why do you think this crisis is happening now beyond this anniversary?
I think that's a really good question. I think there's 2 issues. One is we have a new president, and Kim Jong-un is trying to challenge him, is trying to get him back to the negotiating table. Remember, Barack Obama ignored the North Koreans for 8 years, did not run to the negotiating table every time there was a provocation. Kim Jong-un wants to get back to a situation where we give them gifts when they do something bad. And then we are also making it worse, right? With our bluster and by sending aircraft carriers in there, we're raising the crisis. It's best to just ignore this guy and to deter him from ever using these weapons or selling them and to build our defenses.
So on that note, you say that Kim Jong-un may look at the deployment of this so-called mother of all bombs as a sort of a demonstration of U.S. military might. It sounds like that bomb was first moved into Afghanistan by the Obama administration. How long has this been in the works?
So this has been so we've used bombs like this before, both in Vietnam and in Afghanistan. Nothing ever this big, but it's as David Martin said, it's designed to deal with these cave complexes, and that's where these ISIS guys have been hiding. So it has been there for a while, approved for use. This is not some new strategy on the part of the Trump administration.
We had a battlefield commander, General Nicholson, who could make the decision without having to take it to the Pentagon.
Yes, and there's a balance here. There's a really important balance here between killing ISIS on the battlefield in Afghanistan and then driving people to extremists. So we had former President Karzai overnight criticizing the use of this weapon for that very reason. So you need to strike a balance. I'm not saying this was the wrong thing to do, but there is a downside to using it.
All right. Michael Morell, thanks very much.